Derek Carr improving in Klint Kubiak's offense. Ladies and gentlemen, the backdrop is after further review. I don't know who the hell this cat is on the left. John Hendrix on the right. No offense to the cat on the left. I just don't know who you are, my man. But it looks like wherever you are, it is cold. It goes long sleeve button up with the jacket. That's a flex. So we're skipping ahead in this video because as you can see in the title, Alvin Kamara absent. We've already talked about that. We talked about Alvin Kamara's contract dispute and all of that in a previous video. This video right here, what I want to talk about is Derek Carr all of a sudden looking pretty damn good in minicamp. And a lot of people are catching up to what we were saying a long time ago, that Pete Carmichael was the problem. The scheme was the problem. He was not putting players in positions to win. Klint Kubiak is the total opposite. He is the problem fixer. He is coming in with a completely different ideology than what we've seen. And it's all for the better. And it just so happens that what the pieces that the Saints have are the perfect puzzle pieces for Klint Kubiak's offense. So it's not crazy to think that the entire offense could take a step forward going into 2024, especially Derek Carr, because he is the quarterback and the quarterback shines the brightest whenever the offense is looking good. Just ask Brock Purdy. So I want to hear what John Hendrix has to say, and this young fella here on the left. I want to hear what they have to say about the possibility of Derek Carr improving in Klint Kubiak's offense. And if you want to hear about Alvin Kamara's contract dispute and him being absent, all that stuff that they cover earlier in this video, I have a video on that topic on the channel. And of course, you're not going to find any better coverage than here.
Let's talk about some of the guys that are standing out. I want to come back to St. Brown and Wilson, and I actually want to touch on the running backs too now that you brought that up. But Derek Carr, you're seeing a lot with Derek Carr throughout this camp where he's had great showings kind of day in and day out. What is different? What have you noticed that's different about Derek Carr in this offseason, his second with the Saints, as opposed to his first?
I think Derek Carr is a very, I think the mental aspect of the game really impacts Derek Carr. And it's crazy because there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people where the mental side of things is the most important side of things. Like, obviously, Derek Carr physically can do whatever. He's a professional quarterback. He obviously can perform at a high level physically. But just hearing him talk, seeing interviews with him, even interviews of him away from the football field, just interviews with him and his kids or his family or him talking at a golf tournament or whatever, I can tell that he really cares about the mental and emotional side of things. I think Carr coming in last year to a rocky situation with a locker room that already had problems, and we know they had problems, that we covered it all last season. The locker room had instability and infighting and cliques and all that stuff. Carr comes in, they start losing. I think there's a lot of, the fans obviously were chirping, the players were chirping each other. I don't think that sat well with Carr. And I think Carr couldn't lead the way he wanted to. I don't think Carr could be the person he wanted to because of that. And it just looked like it wore him out. It looked like he was not having fun. It looked like he wasn't enjoying his time. I mean, we saw him yelling at players, whether it was Eric McCoy or Chris Olave or whatever, or Pete Carmichael or whoever it was. And, I know just for me, my second year or third year in a setting, especially like a job, like past jobs I've had. First year, I'm, trying to see the lay of the land. I'm trying to figure things out. I'm trying to, I'm surveying the situation. Second year, third year, once I'm comfortable, once I know what's going on, once I'm ready to roll, and I start to, let myself out, all of a sudden, that's when you see a huge uptick in performance and a huge uptick in whatever. I think Carr is very similar. I think Carr, and a lot of people are like that. Some people just go into every situation the same way. Doesn't matter. They're going to be them. They're going to be the alpha. They're going to be, they're going to rock the boat immediately. And some people aren't like that. Okay. So for Carr, I remember I was like that in school. Like in school, the first couple of grades or the first couple of weeks or the first couple of months, you're trying to figure out, okay, where are the cliques? Who are these people? What are they about? What is going on here? And then you can really start popping off once you're comfortable. Different strokes for different folks. Carr needed that first year to be over with. What Carr really needed was for that first year to be forgotten, to just completely start anew. Well, how about this? That's exactly what we've got. Exactly what we've got is a whole fresh start for the entire team. So now it's even better of a situation because now Derek Carr is on the same playing field as Alvin Kamara, as Chris Olave, as whoever, right? You could have been a Saint for 20 years or 15 years. Wouldn't matter because everyone's learning a brand new playbook. Everybody's learning a brand new coach. Everybody has spent the same amount of time with Klint Kubiak, the same amount of time with Andrew Janoko, the same amount of time with the playbooks. So Carr can be that leader. Carr doesn't have to play catch up because everyone's on the same wavelength. I think just that alone is going to be a huge benefit for Derek Carr. You can already hear it. You can already hear it in his interviews. You can already see it on the field. He's much more comfortable in his role because his role is much more what he wants it to be. He's not the new kid on the block. Everybody's kind of the new kid on the block. There isn't a block, all right? They're learning the block. Everyone's moved into the neighborhood at the same time. So I think that's the biggest benefit to all of this, even more than the scheme, even more than the identity, even more than the play calling. Just the fact that Carr can be what he wants to be and he can be comfortable as the quarterback.
Yeah, I think the comfort level. I mean, I think last year was a learning experience. I know a lot of last year was a learning experience for a lot of players. And, some players got away in the offseason and just needed to unplug and such because it was that tough. But, for Derek, I think it is catering an offense that fits his play style. And, like they said, once they changed things up late in the season and went more to this play action style attack, Derek put up solid numbers down the stretch. And, unfortunately the Saints didn't get in and it was too little too late. But I think what you're seeing is him getting the ball out quicker, which is going to lead to him not taking a lot of more hits like he did last year. I think he's more on the same page with Chris Olave. Obviously it was a big connection today to in the game sequence that they ran. And, look, I think early on, one of the things I wrote about is the fact that once, they had a misconnection, a mispass, and he made it a point to go up to Chris and say, that's a bad ball on my part. And look, you see the chemistry gelling there. I think you just see everything kind of coming together for him and his comfort level that they've got an offense that he's extremely intelligent and he fits, and that, it's only going to mean good things, hopefully, for the Saints.
This is an unbelievable outfit. I mean, I was trying to listen to John there, but let's really break down what we have here. We got a sleeveless hoodie underneath, okay? And we've seen this sleeveless hoodie before. We know Derek Carr got a little Edward Scissorhands on the sleeves. Sleeveless hoodie underneath the red quarterback practice jersey, sleeves rolled in. So we're going like the upgraded version of sleeveless. This is like sleeveless to the nth degree. Unbelievable fit from Derek. The sleeveless sweatshirt is absolutely shocking.
Why is he a better fit in this offense as opposed to the one he played in last year? Because, it's 2 years in a row learning a new system, but the improvement just seems marked this year.
My brother in Christ, if you got to ask the question, you're so far behind, I don't even know what to tell you. Okay? Don't look at me like that. Not every system is the same. So learning a system last year for the first year and learning this system for the first year is it's not the same thing. It's not apples to apples. Last year's system was cooked. Last year's system was horrific. Last year's system wasn't a system. All right? Derek Carr was just plopped in with Pete Carmichael, who didn't know what the hell was going on, trying to run some Sean Payton system that he didn't even know what the foundation of it was. He was just calling plays that he saw Sean Payton call. That's all it is. This system is tailor-made for Derek Carr. This system is built on play action. This system is built on reading the defense pre-snap. This system is built on motion and creativity at the line of scrimmage. This system needs a veteran quarterback who has seen defense, who has had time in the NFL to read what's going on, a high football IQ, reading what's going on at the line of scrimmage, making a quick decision, an efficient pass, a quick pass, and going to the right person, hitting them in space, and then letting them take off. This system is built perfectly for Derek Carr Derek Carr hates pressure. And I mean pressure from the defense. He hates that. He cannot stand being rattled. He cannot stand being hit. We have heard before, we've heard defensive players say, we know that if we hit Derek Carr, he'll get rattled. We know that. We know that if he feels pressure in the pocket, even if it's not there, he'll start tap dancing. He'll tuck the ball away, he'll start tap dancing, and good things for the defense will happen. This system eliminates all that. This system eliminates long dropbacks, slow developing plays, slow developing routes. It eliminates the offensive line having to have some perfect pocket for a long period of time. It eliminates a lot of the problems that Derek Carr has had. And what it does is it illuminates, word of the day, it illuminates. I heard somebody had a great idea where if we do like a word of the day calendar or something where you could see all of the word of the days over the course of a year. I mean, what an unbelievable learning tool that would be for everyone's vocabulary. But this system illuminates what Derek Carr is good at. Derek Carr is an 11-year veteran. He understands how to read defenses. He is good at that. Derek Carr wants to and is good at playing off of play action. He's good at quick, one-read, efficient throws. Wow, perfect. That's exactly what this offense does. So it's no surprise to me that Derek Carr is looking better in this system because he does all the good things this offense does, he does.
Yeah, look, it's a system familiar to what he's been running, right? I think that's the biggest thing. And so, look, the Saints were running an offense that they had ran basically for about 16 years. And again, the use of more motion, him taking more snaps from shotgun or using all sorts of different decoys and shifts and all that, that's just going to bode well because if you can get the defense off their game for just a half second, that means all the difference in the world. And I think with Klint Kubiak, he's bringing wrinkles in that are making the offense click and gel better. Like we saw screen pass to Alvin Kamara yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, screens aren't something that happens. We saw a wheel route. I mean,
God, I'm getting hot under the collar. I heard screen pass to Alvin Kamara. I heard wheel route to Alvin Kamara. Like I was begging last year to see a wheel route from Kamara, to see a route from Kamara. All we saw last year was dump passes. You know, like the system just was bad. I mean, it just was rotten. It really was. So, you know, it's the same thing. It's like watching. You ever watch Iron Chef? Now here you go. Now this is a Skrmetta for right here. You ever watch Iron Chef? I love Iron Chef. But when you get a guy on there or a girl on there and they're taking on the Iron Chefs, if they're a barbecue chef from Austin, Texas, and the secret ingredient is scallops, or the secret ingredient is mussels or shellfish or something, they may be confused. You know, if the secret ingredient is jackfruit, they may not know what the hell to do, right? But if the secret ingredient is pork fat or brisket or something like that, they're going to be like, I know exactly what to do here. I'm comfortable doing this. I've done this before. I'm good at this ingredient. I'm good at bringing out the flavors in this ingredient. Even though they're getting a secret ingredient, even though it's the same, they're still doing the same thing, they're just better and more talented at what the secret ingredient or the scheme or the system is asking them to do. Derek Carr is the Iron Chef contestant who's better at, brisket or a barbecue cook or whatever that's getting brisket. And last year he had razor clams.
That's something, two routes that can work really effectively, and to not put one of your best offensive players in a position like that last year and years before is a little bit concerning. But, for Klint Kubiak, I think he's figuring it out, and he's been intentional with everything. They've been, very intentional, delivered on how they work, what they're working on, and when they're working on it. And I think everybody in this offense is responding well, even the defense, because they're excited that they're seeing something different, and they're learning from it every day.
All right, John, I'll get you out of here on this one. Your time very.
Can you imagine if 104.5? Can you imagine if ESPN gave me a call and they said, "Hey, look, we need you to do a show. We need you to do one day, just one day. Whoever's out, and this cat right here, they let him get back to the Sadie Hawkins dance or wherever he came from, and they said, we'll let him go to the toga dance or whatever, and we'll call the superstar. We'll call the face of the franchise. and I got dropped in here, and I was doing a 3-hour show on 104.5. Can you imagine? The streets of Baton Rouge would be parading up and down. Radios would be at full blast. It'd be the greatest 3 hours in Baton Rouge history. Not that I would say yes, but
Very much appreciated. You piqued my interest with the running back conversation there, because obviously that's a position for the Saints last year that was marred by injury throughout, and you just didn't get a lot of production there. What is standing out about the guys at the running back room so far here early on in the offseason?
Yeah, look, I think.
Well, what should stand out is a big difference in this system is that the system sees multiple running backs on the field. I've said this stat a million times. Last year, Pete Carmichael, 0 plays. It's hard to even fathom. 0 plays. 0. He had 2 running backs on the field at the same time. San Francisco 49ers, 30% of the time, have 2 running backs on the field. Klint Kubiak, let's round down a little bit. Let's say he does it 25% of the time. That alone is a huge change for all the running backs, because Alvin Kamara is only 1. So if we're going to have multiple running backs on the field at the same time, Kendra Miller, get ready. Jamal Williams, get ready. And then what are you doing with those multiple running backs? One of them's in motion, one of them's blocking, one of them's running. Both of them are in motion, both are running routes. Who the hell knows, right? So it gives more touches, it gives more field time, it gives more all of that stuff to the running backs. And so I can't wait. I hope Kendra Miller, I hope he's healthy all year long. I hope he's on the field a lot, because I want to see what he can do. I mean, he only had 170 yards rushing or whatever it was last year. I want to see what he can really do with some serious playing time.
First of all, I think Jamal Williams is in for a better year, and of course we know Kendra Miller is probably going to get a lot more touches this season. But where I say that is, you have some other guys that were on the roster hanging around last year. Your James Robinson, your Jordan Mims, guys that were on the practice squad. I mean, Jordan Mims is a guy who's been getting a lot of first-team looks, red zone looks. He's doing a lot of.
And I know people tell me all the time, James, it's Kendra Miller. It's not Kendra Miller. First of all, shout out Kendra Wilkerson. Don't Google it, ladies and gentlemen. This is a family show. But Kendra Wilkerson is for some reason, I just cannot get Kendra. I just see that word and I say Kendra. Just Kendra. And then, of course, I played the Saints Madden franchise on my Madden channel. He gets hit, gets his knees blown out, chopped down, gets tackled by 4 different guys. Adam Prentice tackles him. He somehow falls on top of the linebacker, swag surfs on the linebacker into the end zone. Goes full Kelly Slater. Played that. Kendra Miller had a big first year because Alvin was hurt. Called him Kendra during that. It is what it is. So I know the name. All right, I know it's Kendra Miller. All right, I don't want people correcting me in the comments. All right, we're just going to say it. We're just going to stick with Kendra Miller. All right, that's what his real friends call him, and no one's a realer friend than me.
Things in special teams too. He's doing everything necessary to make sure he's in a position to try to make this roster, and so I think that's exciting. He's a guy that should be on the radar. I mean, coming out of college, the Saints wanted to get him, but Buffalo came to the table first, and once Buffalo let him go, the Saints pounced on him, and they were extremely excited about this guy. And so I'm not telling you he's going to be the starter. He's going to be doing this. But, again, it's one of those names that you keep an eye out on. But I like what I've seen from James Robinson, Jacob Caboti, their undrafted guy out of UL Lafayette. And so, look, I think ultimately it's Kendra and Alvin Kamara leading the load, and then Jamal Williams is going to be better and more efficient. But, you got to look at the guys behind him that, there's something to be said about that. And, of course, you can't overlook Taysom Hill taking some of those shares too.
Here's a little pro tip. If you're at a party and you're hanging out on the back deck and, someone's giving you a peach high noon iced tea, the official drink of the summer, and you're sitting there and you're popping the top with a couple cold pops with the boys, and you're out there and someone asks you, hey, man, what do you think about the Saints running back room? Do not start talking about Jordan Mims. Do not start talking about an undrafted free agent out of UL Lafayette. That is not what people want to hear. That's not what I want to hear. All right? I don't want to hear about how Jordan Mims can possibly make the team, or James Robinson's doing whatever, or whatever the hell the guy's name, the undrafted guy at UL Lafayette. Not interested in that. No offense, but offense. All right? Let's talk about Alvin Kamara. Let's talk about Jamal Williams. You know what? Let's not even talk about Jamal Williams. Let's talk about Kendra Miller. Let's talk about Alvin Kamara. Let's talk about Taysom Hill's role. Less Jordan Mims. Okay? I mean, I was begging that conversation to pivot to something, but instead I just got Jordan Mims talk. If Jordan Mims gets, if Jordan Mims gets 5 carries this year, I'll be absolutely befuddled. I'd be absolutely shocked, and I'll be absolutely pissed that 5 carries are going to Jordan Mims instead of Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, Kendra Miller, or something else. Throw the ball. If we're in a situation where we're going to run Jordan Mims, throw the football. I can't even imagine a situation where Jordan Mims or the undrafted free agent from UL Lafayette is getting carries. And if that's the case, if they're not going to get carries, why the hell are you telling me about them, John? Why are you telling me about them? I just don't understand it. It blows my mind sometimes what we're talking about here. No hate, respect to John, but damn, unless I'm reading a magazine from the latest edition of Jordan Mims Illustrated, I don't need Jordan Mims news. Unless I'm literally in Jordan Mims' house, why are we talking about Jordan Mims? What's going on here, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, I'll go Taysom. Line him up anywhere. Swiss Army knife. It's the old adage that we've heard for years now with Taysom Hill. John Hendrix, Saints.
What? That was wild. This guy right here, this cat, I'll give him this. He had my exact response to hearing 40 seconds to Jordan Mims and what was the UL Lafayette guy's name?
Jacob Cabote, their undrafted guy.
Jacob Cabote?
And so, look, I do the rest of your show.
Hey,
this is exactly...
So look at the guys.
This face on this guy on the left is exactly the face you should be making. If you're outside and you got that peach high noon in your hand, and somebody starts talking about Jacob Capote, and I hope that's his actual name. That's what it sounded like. But if it's not, who cares? But if someone starts talking about Jacob Capote and Jordan Mims, this is the face you should make. Watch this guy on the left.
Behind him, that
here it comes.
Something to be said about that, and of course you can't overlook Taysom Hill taking some of those shares too.
Right there.
Yeah, I'll go Taysom. Line him up.
Just a straight up. Oh man, whoa! This guy, you could tell he blacked out into a different dimension. He was in an ethereal plane when he heard too much Jacob Capote talk. Sent him into a different dimension. He snapped out of it and was like, whew, wow, that was a lot of Jordan Mims talk. Damn, and he just. Absolutely zero response. Just threw a, yeah, man, I don't know, Swiss Army knife something. Get me the holy hell out of here, Jesus.
Up anywhere. Swiss Army knife. It's the old adage that we've heard.
Meanwhile, he's getting, key locked. He's getting a triangle chokehold by his own headphone wire. Damn, what an insane, what a wild situation. But there you go. So, man, a lot to talk about there. But I think Carr. To bring it all back around, ladies and gentlemen, then, of course, we get the outro here with Matthew. To bring it all back around to Derek, I think you got a unique situation where a lot of Saints fans got real comfortable with saying that Derek Carr sucks, Dennis Allen sucks, this sucks, that sucks, fire Mickey, whatever. And I think a lot of them are going to be really surprised when Klint Kubiak makes as big of an impact as I think he's going to make. I see it in the comments every day. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, today I've got a pot of coffee in me. I've got pre-workout in me. I've got a bowl of chili in me, and I've got a baked potato in me. I have an insane amount. It is the final destination. It is the end of days right now in my gut biome. So, I'm really working through it in this video. But you got a lot of people in my comments who are telling me, because I keep saying the Saints are going to be better. And they keep saying, why would they be better? They were ass last year. And I say it's a totally different team. And they say, well, we still have Derek Carr and Dennis Allen. It's like, brother, you're missing the point. If you think this Saints team is going to look anything like last year's team just because Dennis Allen and Derek Carr are here, then I don't know what to tell you. Start watching something else. I mean, just quit watching the NFL because you don't get it. All right, go turn on the Olympics. But it's a completely different ideology. It's a completely different philosophy. It's a completely different team. Not even to mention the different players on the team. All right, the different players that we've picked up, the Chase Youngs, the Willie Gays, the Talise Fuagas, like this is a different team. Not to mention the players that are not on the team. All right, like Michael Thomas. All of that matters. A completely new coaching staff, top to bottom, total overhaul. See you later. Okay, for the first time in almost 20 years, Pete Carmichael ain't walking through that door. That's a big deal. All right, completely new ideas. Andrew Janoko, Klint Kubiak, everybody. It's a totally different team. Now, does that mean we're going to win 12 games, 13 games, 14 games? No, it doesn't. Schedule's harder, different situation. But I think we will be competing for an NFC South title. And if we do win 10 games and win an NFC South title and host a playoff game, I'll go ahead and tell you this right now. The following season, we're going to be going for it. I'll tell you that right now. So if you're one of those people who are saying Super Bowl or bust, if you're one of those people that are saying, well, none of this matters unless we are chasing the Super Bowl or chasing the NFC title, we're a season away from that, my man. Because if we're good this year, and good only has to be 9 wins, 10 wins, if we're somewhere in there, if we win the NFC South, hold on to your butts. As my good friend Samuel L. Jackson would say in my favorite movie of all time, Jurassic Park. Hold on to your butts. Because if we're good this year, it's time to go all in. And that means the Saints team has what it takes to compete. And if we have what it takes to compete on the core level of our core players, like Derek Carr, like Alvin Kamara, like Chris Olave, like Demario Davis, like Cam Jordan, like Chase Young, like all those guys, like Marshawn Lattimore, like Tyrann Mathieu, if they can compete this year, the first year with this brand new coaching staff, next year, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we made a big splash. Went and got a big-time offensive lineman or a big-time defensive player or a big-time weapon for Derek Carr, big-time tight end, whatever. And we made a legitimate run at the NFC. Ladies and gentlemen, get on down in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know. What do you think about all this positivity coming from minicamp, coming from the outside sources? What do you think about Peach High Noons? What do you think about the Sadie Hawkins dance? What do you think about me? Oh, could you imagine? On 104.5 ESPN. What do you think about anything we talked about? The chili, the baked potato, the pre-workout, anything. Back in biceps, ladies and gentlemen, was the workout today. I was bent over rowing 120-pound dumbbells. Unbelievable. Can you even imagine? The calluses on my hand. The calluses are basically glass. 120-pound dumbbells. Boom. In this grip. In the Anaconda grip. Right there. Jennifer Lopez. Anaconda grip. That's a shout out to the movie Anaconda. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you in the next video. Peace.